following the defeat to Nottingham Forest, I'm speaking about it like it was last week. I mean, it's just happened. There's a few things to be disappointed about, but I think in many respects the lack of 3 points is, or lack of any points, should I say, is in many respects in my mind almost the least amongst them. Look, we're going to need points. In fact, David Moyes himself is always going on about points. So I've mentioned this a few times, but just bear with me. Season before last, I remember him saying we were 2 points behind Chelsea. We got to find those additional 3 points from somewhere. He was saying it after last season, the points that make the difference that get us from Conference League into Europa League. So David Moyes is infinitely aware of the importance of points and the difference a small number of points make. For that reason, I find it really, really difficult to understand why he manages to sacrifice so many points early on in the season. Not every season, but what I'm saying is get your signings in early, get it all done, then you're more than likely to start the season well. He's claiming that we're unfit at the moment, then put together a pre-season that enables you to start the season with a bang and thus get those points. Why not just get the points on the board early and then just see where you are and not worry at the end of the season why you didn't get that extra 2 points, extra 3 points. It's not all about that. Some of it's tactical, as can be seen with the last game of last season against Brighton, who were, funnily enough, our next opponents. Crystal Palace did their job against Man United. We didn't beat Brighton. That was tactical. Anyway, it's not so much the points that worries me at the moment. It's not even the manner of the performance. It's because I don't know how many shots we had. I've just finished doing a review with Gio. I mentioned in the review that Souček hit the bar, had 4 shots on goal inside the box. That's good. We've been waiting for him to do that for a long time. We hit the bar on a couple of occasions, once Fornells, once Benrahma. We had a goal disallowed. I mean, just what I'm talking about there, that's 7 opportunities, good ones. So it's not the overall performance. I think we didn't defend well, but again, I think you can make excuses. You can use mitigation for that because of the lack of central defenders. But that's where it all stops. Because this really is my point here. David Moyes needs to understand that at the moment we are not attractive to people that he wants to join the club. Any potential signings. And the longer it goes on, the less attractive we become. David Moyes said in his interview with Graham Hunter that maybe West Ham are bidding for players a little bit too early. Maybe players want to look at West Ham and see, do you know what, I'll see where you are in a couple of seasons' time. And I've mentioned this sort of thing before. David Moyes knows an awful lot about a lot of things, but I've often wondered how much he sort of understands about, I don't mean the human psyche, that sounds a little bit derogatory, but, about what motivates people, about what makes people tick. And cast your mind back to last season. We were getting towards the latter stages in Europe. We'd qualified. We qualified for the latter stages of Europe. It was a transfer window, and Declan Rice was looking, I think he was looking a little bit glum at one point. And I mentioned in a video, I thought Declan Rice needed a spur. Declan Rice needed an incentive to really, not give him a kick up the backside, but to keep him motivated, to demonstrate. It was up to David Moyes to demonstrate to Declan Rice, look, mate, you're at the right club. We're really going for it in Europe. The messaging was clear. Even if you don't quite get the player you want, the messaging is clear. Get someone in on loan, do something. But that never came, and I think that's quite telling. I think whilst David Moyes may well have been being frugal and thrifty and trying to protect the money and save it for later, what he understood about the financial benefit of doing that, he didn't understand about the mental benefit of actually signing somebody, the lift it would give someone. I often talk about the messaging, but the uplift, the motivation of it. And I do wonder at the moment, the long time it takes him to get these things done. I do wonder if he's aware of the impact it has on other people. I said before the game, now he got it right by playing Benrahma on the left, he got it right. But by not including Schumacher or Cornet or Flynn Downs in the starting lineup, I don't think he realises that actually when the fans travel up to Nottingham and they see a new signing on the team sheet, it gives them a buzz, it gives them a lift. Maybe make them sing a bit more, whatever. Not that they didn't sing loads. You understand what I'm saying, though. It gives everybody a little lift. I think the players get excited to have a newbie in there. Not if you're the one that's been dropped, clearly. But I think there's something really important about that. But the thing that worries me is about the messaging in terms of us trying to recruit players. Because last week was a really important week. We needed to bring some players in. We definitely needed to bring a centre-half in. This is not even conjecture. This is clear. Look at the way we played. Look at the way we conceded goals. I don't want to put any blame on Johnson. Johnson's been asked to play out of position. Johnson is a really, really important squad player for West Ham. My goodness, he's covering 4 positions at the moment. Both wing-back positions and centre-back. And we even, at one point last season, asked him to play in central midfield as a substitute. We're asking too much of him. So I don't blame him. However, it's quite clear he was involved in both goals against Manchester City, and he was involved in a goal against Nottingham Forest that they scored, and also the one that they scored was disallowed. He missed a header. So you've got somebody there that's not a centre-half. So it was really clear we needed to bring the centre-half in last week. The moment you know Ogbonna's not going to be ready, Diop was sold. I've discussed that. I'm not going to go through all that again. Bring in the centre-half. But apparently we've been struggling to do that. Now, the people that are going to be joining us or want to join us would have been watching that game. Reminds me of an old I say no, reminds me of an old story. I don't remember the story that well, but it's about us trying to sign somebody, and Harry Redknapp dissuading the potential signing from seeing the training ground, because the training ground was a dump. It was when we were at Chadwell Heath, and the training ground was a dump. And Harry Redknapp was just drive them anywhere. We'd drive them to the stadium, we'd do the stuff at the stadium. Whatever you do, don't let them see the training ground. And it's almost felt a little bit like that, really. These potential signings, the guy at PSG, for instance, just don't let him watch the game against Nottingham Forest. Because if you were a potential sign, you would look at West Ham, and you might think, okay, that's not great. I'm not sure I might just wait a little bit. I might be able to wait until January or whatever the case may be. I'd like to think that most professional and seasoned players wouldn't look at the league table and think, well, hold on, you've played 2 games, you've basically scored no goals and you've got no points. I'm not joining you. I'd like to think they can look a little bit beyond that. But it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. And what I've thought we've been able to do over the past couple of seasons, before the last couple of seasons, I felt for West Ham to get a good player, we've had to pay inflated wages to get them. Why? Because there's no other reason to join West Ham. I think over the last couple of seasons, we could say, well, look, we're one of a top 10 Premier League team and we're in Europe. And I just felt there were reasons. So actually, it's the other clubs who might have to pay you more wages. There's legitimate footballing reasons for joining West Ham. Whereas I think now, if we carry on with this, then people are going to be looking at us thinking, well, you're not doing too well, are you really? So I might join, but chuck another 10, 20 grand on the weekly wage. And to be fair, we've seen with Onana how well that goes down. It just doesn't. It's not a major worry at the moment. I do think we're a good team. I think we have it's not just the makings of a good team. I think we do have good players there. But at the moment, it ain't clicking. At the moment, it's just not functioning correctly. And as I said in the review, I was a little bit disappointed that, number one, David Moyes that he took him a long time to make those substitutions. They were warming up on 57 minutes. They didn't come on until 67 minutes. It's not the first time we've seen that. If that was the only time it happened, I'd be looking at that and I'd be saying, that's just because there was a penalty and all the rest of it. But it's happened on numerous occasions. So I was pleased he brought the substitutes on. I was really, really disappointed it didn't come with a tactical switch as well. I don't care whether it's Antonio staying on and going 2 up front or you push Bowen into the middle. Just do something and just do something different, because I don't think you're giving Scamacca the best chance to make an impact. And actually, when I talk about messaging, I talk about motivation, it's really important that we keep these new guys motivated as well. It's really important. It's difficult for a Gerd. He's injured. But it's important we keep Scamacca motivated. We don't need Scamacca to feel that he can score goals. I think it's really important with Cornet that he doesn't just get 9 minutes at the end of the game. All right, in the end, he played a lot more because there was 7 minutes injury time. But you get what I mean. You bring him on after 81 minutes. It's not great. I think it's also important you give Flynn Downs an opportunity. Now, I think hopefully Flynn Downs will get the opportunity in Europe. However, that is going to be difficult, and I get it. And I think David Moyes could rightly point to Thomas Souček's involvement in the game. And whilst technically his passing and everything wasn't great, he was a menace. He was a nuisance. He got in the box continually. If Thomas Souček in the next game against Brighton has 4 shots from within the box, as he did today against Nottingham Forest, he's highly likely to score a goal. So I get that. David Moyes could probably say, well, maybe I shouldn't have there was no room to bring on Flynn Downs. I would possibly argue, particularly having a look how Lanzini played when he came on, that maybe, just maybe, he would have been better off bringing on Flynn Downs, putting him defensive midfield, keeping Declan Rice on there, or moving Declan Rice centre-back, or at least just moving Souček permanently into basically almost attacking midfield, like number 10 position, or literally get him as close to Scamacca as is possible. Just something different, a little twist. I don't know. I'm not a tactician. I don't know about such things, but I do think that Moyes surrendered a lot of the stuff there, and I really wish I was in the press conference to ask him, some of these questions, really, because I am baffled by some of it. Now, just to make it clear, I'm not subscribing to the Moyes out stuff. I mean, to be fair, those comments have been happening all week anyway. Far from it. There has to be some credit or some benefit to having back-to-back European campaigns, being in the top 10 back-to-back seasons. I don't go along with by saying, people forget when we were... when we used to get relegated, and because I think there's a lot of people who want Moyes out who do remember when we used to get relegated. That being said, I think I still carry a certain amount of relief that we don't start each season looking over our shoulder. And I'm not particularly looking over our shoulder now, because I do think we'll get points. But he's got a rocket up his arse now, and now he needs to move, and now he needs to hurriedly make signings right now. And I've said this about him before. The trouble is David Moyes is, I'm not saying he doesn't have foresight. It's almost like he's got two set modes. He's got like foresight in terms of I'm planning for 4 years, and then utter surprise and a panic, right? There's nothing in between. There's nothing to take care of the next 6 months or the next year or something like that. So now he's going to be in a blind panic, because he's going to be thinking, oh my goodness, hold on, we've got no points, we've got no players in, there weren't enough players on the bench, and all the rest of it, when really, a little bit of sort of medium-term foresight would have shown him that that's easy enough to sort out. Anyway, there we go. Just, look, disappointing to lose again. I thought it was a better performance. I thought we looked fitter. I've got to say, I don't think if it was the whole team looked like they were running out of steam, then I'd be more concerned. But I didn't think... I thought Cresswell looked fitter. I felt... Well, it's difficult for Zuma. Looked, slightly injured, didn't he? I thought Fabianski looked sharp. I thought Soufal looked, really fit. Unfortunately, I didn't think he had tons of quality. Souček looked fitter. Benrahma looked really fit and sharp. And, there were a lot of reasons. Fornells looked fit, although he wasn't particularly competent. I'll deal with some of those aspects in tomorrow's video, actually. The biggest problem is I don't think that Bowen and Rice looked fit or sharp, and that probably is a bit of a problem, really, there. So, something to sort out. England duty coincidence? I don't know. Maybe it isn't, but it's something that needs to be sorted out. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Catch up with you tomorrow.